Instagram. Well, good evening to Instagram. Okay, it is I, Justin House. Today's date, 22nd even. Can't get it right. Well, I always mess up in the first few minutes. 22nd of July. It's a Thursday, I think. In fact, it doesn't matter what date it is. Who cares what date it is? It has no bearing on this stream. I can tell you one thing though. It's episode 393 of the TrueHouse stream. I might have to adjust that camera a fraction. And it's my 499th day. Alright, so what does that mean? Well, it means that I don't like the... Look, let's be clear, I'm not going to call it a lockdown, okay? I don't want to... It's because that would mean me just never leaving this little flat. I make a point of doing that, so... Yeah, I'm a social hermit anyway, so it's not like I've always been mingling. To be fair, nothing's changed for me. Nothing has changed for me, which many would view as being a little bit sad and pathetic. So, if that's how it sounds, then that's how it sounds. But yeah, 499 days of me just not mixing with other humans. That's all there is to it. And in a time of, shall I say, hysteria, or is it just good old-fashioned nastiness and bitchiness where we've got a division between the vaccinated and the non, and how there seems to be what's the word? I struggle with my words sometimes. Not a righteousness, worse than righteousness. Sanctimonious? Yeah, let's try that. It always takes me a while to warm up on these live streams. I often get tongue-tied and I mess up words, but I'll get there. Some nights I'm super lucid, some nights I'm a little bit like toffee. Anyway, yeah, you got people being very sanctimonious and extremely judgmental regarding the vax. I'm going to use this time just to go for the first 5 minutes or so while I'm waiting for people to arrive. I've sort of got no reason to be not into the vaccine. But at this time it's not a good idea for me to take it. And yes, of course, I've sought professional medical advice. That's not, I don't draw internet conclusions. I'm not one of those people that's that reaches a conclusion based on traffic and, I mean internet traffic and posts and vlogs and blogs and streams and podcasts and other people's opinions who haven't been to medical school for a decade. So yeah, I tend to not believe or invest in their opinions, but I'm also pretty reserved, I guess, or yeah, just a little bit. I'm not one of those people that's super falling over themselves to obey without getting independent professional medical advice. In other words, when I hear about people getting vaccinated in car parks and other large areas where there's people everywhere and just willy-nilly, don't know what's in it, don't know what's what. Yeah, kind of wouldn't do that. It's not my cup of tea. Anyway, moving on. It's enough about that. It gets boring. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, something that is a pyramid scale. It's an old measuring system, or a chart, diagram, way of gauging what we need as humans. And something cropped up today that made me remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That in order for us to not perish, if we were to look at our lives as a diagram, to visualize a pyramid, if you will, and at the base of that pyramid, the widest, by the way, that's the fan, that's the noise. It's quite warm, so apologies for the noise. It won't be great audio. But the base of the pyramid, the sturdy foundation, and I'll bring it up in a minute, really is based on, shelter, protection, so we don't perish, enough sort of sustenance, food, just to fortify ourselves with sufficient literal roof over our heads, and some energy to consume so we don't die, and that's also including hydration. You could argue that light, water and shelter pretty much is, isn't it? We can even survive pretty well for some time, extreme temperature changes, whether they go up or down. And then obviously as the pyramid diagram gets to its apex, the description in this Maslow's hierarchy of needs, less importance is placed upon the fundamentals, and more importance is placed on joy and fulfillment and the sexy things in life. Does that make sense? So, if I wanted a new smartphone because I fancied it, it's not going to be near my wide base of needs, of essentials. It's things that you could normally trim the fat on. I'm doing a pretty poor job of explaining it, but that's the crux of it, that you've got a system whereby, as humans, there are certain requirements that we need. I think we're living in an age or a stage now where there's a lot of upside down, there's a lot of inversion, there's a lot of subversion, and a lot of perversion. Don't worry, I'm not going to start evangelizing, I'm not going to start getting preachy. I'm just going to say that our system of living currently seems to have taken this traditional approach to living and turned it on its head. What I'm going to do is just to consult Google and see who Maslow was and how this mode or diagram for living has been around. Hey Google, who is Maslow? Hierarchy of needs.
According to Wikipedia, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is an idea in psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow in his 1943 paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, in the journal Psychological Review. Maslow subsequently extended the idea to include his observations of humans' innate curiosity.
Interesting. 7 basic human needs. Hey Google, please provide a diagram of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
According to Wikipedia, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is an idea in psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow in his 1943.
Alright, we won't go there again. I can see if I can bring it up on my phone. That's a bit sucky.
Try again in a few seconds.
Try his method here. I'm doing these 30-40 minute sessions when it's like this, when I've not got someone to talk to. Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
According to Wikipedia, Maslow's hierarchy of needs is an idea in psychology proposed by Abraham Maslow.
Let's look at the picture, shall we? So what we're looking at, guys, here's one of many. So I'll read that to you. Because I discovered something myself today with my own physiology, which made me think of this. So, the basic needs are at the bottom, okay? So the physiological needs, not psychological, physiological, what we physically need. Physically, say it again, Justin, physically. Food, water, warmth and rest. Where's shelter? I'd put shelter in there, but then again that's safety needs, I guess, just above it. So the bottom two levels of the pyramid, so food and water, warmth and rest. I suppose warmth would be shelter, wouldn't it? Alright, I'm being picky. Safety needs, security, safety, fine. So your building, your shack, your roof would provide the necessary safety, I guess, wouldn't it? Yeah? Belongingness and love needs, this is going above it now. Intimate relationships, friends. Above that, esteem needs, things for our self-esteem. Prestige, feeling of accomplishment. And at the top of the pyramid, the unnecessary shit, but the things we like. Self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, including creative activities. So that's the really good stuff, that's the stuff that we love. So if you really make it in a chosen path, you know, a career, you know, if you feel a sense of enrichment, you know, fulfillment, that sort of thing, then that's a bonus, you know. That's all good. That's all good. So these are things that are quite not trivial, but inconsequential to the basic fundamentals at the base of the pyramid. And the reason today I wanted to mention Maslow's hierarchy of needs was because you guys have probably heard the expression, if you don't use it, you lose it. And it's very true with our own physicality, it's very true with our own bodies. I'm going to take some water on because I've got a thumping headache. And there goes the phone. So I'm just going to have to adjust that phone because that's going to fall down. Sorry guys. Hopefully I'll stay in position now. But I'm not too certain on that. Dodgy, we'll see. But anyway, I'm just checking Instagrams. Yeah, it's okay. I'm always having fun and games with these cameras. Let's try and get a professional camera one day, rather than phones. Anyway, so going back to what I was saying about if you don't use it, you lose it. It's certainly true with our bodies, and because of the medical things I've had the last 15 years, basically I'll keep it very, very brief, from almost losing my leg to an aggressive tumour in my spine, to a heart attack or two, and kidney failure leading to dialysis for 4 years, and then a transplant. But my transplant's been in me for 8 years now. Point being that obviously because of the issue with almost losing my leg and the spine and everything else, it's an accumulative effect that's altered my body obviously I've experienced atrophy, a loss of tissue, and weakness. Insofar as I used to be more active, and I was a guy that went to the gym a lot and spent many years in bodybuilding, and for my sins. And building up a pair of legs, building up a base is really important. And I'm finding now that in later life, all right, I have to accept some physiological things have happened to my physique that have altered it. And I would describe this, my best attempt at describing it would be a loss of base, my base strength, my launching strength, my ability to, run, jump, jog, lunge, change direction, to be explosive, etc. Just the jumping around shit you did when you were younger, you know what I mean? So that's gone, but today I made a concerted effort just to mobilize myself. And let me put it in perspective for you. For years now I've been unable to squat my own body weight. It might sound absurd to some people, but for the last 4 to 5 years I've not had the strength to just stand there and squat my own body. It's embarrassing to admit. However, today I did, which felt great. I had to work hard to get there. And I'll keep working hard, because you don't use it, you lose it. I think a lot of it has come from just understanding that the body, as much as we can work on it, some things can and do happen where your body's performance gets stripped away, and to the point of potentially no return. And this all sounds terribly doom and gloom and negative, but it's not, because the silver lining is, if you're stubborn enough and you want it enough and you work hard enough, I don't care if that sounds cheesy, you really apply yourself, you just give it some every day. Just don't do these little half measures, and don't delude yourself, and don't sugarcoat things. I think being truthful with yourself and being honest is of fundamental importance. We are living in different times. We are living in times where people have altered what we like, what we do, what we prioritise, what we seek, what we covet. All these things have changed at a societal level. Gone are the days where someone would be on telly as a celebrity because they're a great singer, athlete, whatever. Nowadays people are on telly just to be famous, just their looks. And I get that. I get the fact that people are going on small screens, big screens, for looks alone, no real talent. And I think this feedback loop, this self-fulfilling, it's actually, I think it's really quite bad, because if we humans learn through osmosis. It's an osmotic effect, through absorption, yeah? So if you give us a diet of shit, if the media pumps images, sounds, words, pictures, posts, and it's not honest or realistic or truthful or relevant. Therein lies the problem. We become paper thin and we become chasers of someone else's. I'm having a job to get it out really. Sometimes I struggle with these streams. I did last night, I am tonight. It's tiredness and just general bluntness. Yeah. I may well do this stream again because I'm certainly not happy with it. I can do better than this.